I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely
Angel Reese just had the most embarrassing performance of her career on the biggest stage in basketball, at the United Center, the largest arena in the NBA, where, in front of a sold-out crowd and national primetime TV audience, she managed only 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting while the Indiana Fever crushed the Chicago Sky by 27 points, making matters worse. The Fever were missing Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and even their head coach, and to top it all off, Reese's humiliation was sealed when Clark, watching from the sidelines, did something on live TV that instantly went viral and reminded everyone who really runs the league.
There's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago's.
You know, a player isn't really a draw when tickets to see them drop to the price of a gas station candy bar, and that's exactly what happened with this United Center game, which was supposed to be Angel Reese's big moment to prove she could carry viewership and attendance without Caitlin Clark headlining. The Chicago Sky had been pushing the narrative all season that Reese was just as much of a box office attraction as Clark, that fans showed up to see her too. But the empty seats told a different story.
Is now quoted as saying, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. It's because of me too, and I want you to realize.
Then reality hit like a freight train. Once Caitlin Clark was officially ruled out with a quad injury, ticket prices crashed from premium levels to just $3. That's right, $3, less than the cost of a halfway decent coffee. And yet that's all people were willing to pay to watch Angel Reese play at the United Center in what was supposed to be a marquee showdown between two rising WNBA stars. But with Clark sidelined, the buzz evaporated, the secondary market tanked, scalpers couldn't give the tickets away, and fans who were once excited suddenly tuned out, proving once and for all that there's only one true box office draw in the league.
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game.
Social media told the whole story. Fans flooded timelines with screenshots of the $3 tickets, laughing emojis, and jokes about being able to take their entire family to a Sky game for less than the cost of parking. As the hype surrounding this United Center matchup deflated faster than a punctured basketball, this was supposed to be Chicago's moment to shine. The Sky had spent all season claiming Angel Reese brought her own fan base, that she was appointment viewing, that people tuned in specifically to see her play. But when Caitlin Clark was ruled out and could no longer drive interest, the market responded loud and clear about who fans were actually paying to watch.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of...
Compare this to previous games where Caitlin Clark's presence drove massive ticket sales, packed arenas, and electric atmospheres. Fans would line up hours before tip-off just to catch a glimpse of her warming up, creating scenes that felt more like a concert than a basketball game. The contrast with the United Center game couldn't have been more stark. As the buzz disappeared, the seats emptied, and the energy vanished the moment Clark was no longer part of the equation.
There were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' minds at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2000.
Even Chicago Sky fans seemed noticeably less interested without the Clark matchup to look forward to. The energy around the game shifted from electric anticipation to a sense of resigned obligation, as people who had been organizing watch parties suddenly made other plans for their Friday night. And what unfolded was the beginning of Angel Reese's worst nightmare on the league's biggest stage. Those $3 tickets weren't just a punchline, they were a perfect preview of the underwhelming performance Chicago's so-called superstar was about to deliver.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What?
4 points on 2 of 7 shooting in 27 minutes on primetime TV. That's how you destroy your reputation in real time. The United Center was hosting its first ever WNBA game. CBS had cleared its primetime schedule with no competing broadcasts. And a sold-out crowd filled the NBA's largest arena expecting fireworks, only to witness what analysts later called a disaster class from Angel Reese, a complete collapse on the sport's biggest stage when the lights were brightest.
This might have been the first WNBA game broadcast on CBS in prime time. If it's not the first, it's one of very few. This was a big moment. I'm sure the WNBA would call it historic. Angel Reese is playing in an NBA arena in prime time on network television on Saturday night. Outside of regular season baseball, maybe the College World Series, there was no competition on television. The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese and the WNBA. And Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching.
Let's break down just how rough this performance really was. Reese scored only 4 points while missing 5 of her 7 shots, including 2 embarrassing missed layups that had the crowd groaning in disbelief. One of those attempts was swatted away entirely, and the cameras captured every moment of her visible frustration as the game spiraled out of control. And for someone being promoted as Chicago's superstar and a supposed box office draw, this stat line was nothing short of brutal.
More assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assist per game. 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up to 9.1 points per game.
You know what made this even worse? Reese looked completely lost on the court, making poor decisions, seeming overwhelmed by the moment, and having no answer for Indiana's relentless defensive pressure. The cameras caught every frustrated headshake and disappointed gesture as shot after shot clanged off the rim, painting the picture of a player clearly not ready for the spotlight she was supposed to own.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Bang! She should work at housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. To mention no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel!
That's too many steps and you can't do that.
This wasn't just about missing a few tough shots. This was a player who looked like she didn't even belong on the same court as a professional basketball team, and the crowd's reaction said it all. What began as excited anticipation from fans who paid good money for a historic United Center showdown quickly shifted to restless disappointment as Reese continued to struggle, with audible frustration building throughout the arena and some fans even leaving early despite the occasion. What made it even more embarrassing was that, leading up to the game, Reese had been all over social media flaunting her celebrity lifestyle and projecting her usual confident persona, but when the lights were brightest and the stage was biggest, she folded completely under pressure.
Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of...
The Sky's offensive struggles extended beyond just Reese, but her performance stood out as especially painful to watch. No Chicago player reached double figures, and the team managed only 52 points, their lowest total since 2011. Yet even in the context of a complete team collapse, Reese's showing was the most glaring disappointment, with one analyst bluntly stating that Angel Reese once again proved she is nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. This wasn't just a bad night, it was a total meltdown on the biggest stage women's basketball had to offer, and the Fever took full advantage of it, without even needing their best player on the court.
Angel Reese brought her outfit and left her game at home. She brought the nice hat, she brought the nice boots, she brought the nice jacket, she brought the nice gloves, but unfortunately, she left her game at home. 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists in 27 minutes of action, a minus 23 turnovers as the Chicago Sky, without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without...
This wasn't Angel Reese's first public humiliation at the hands of the Fever. It's turning into a disturbing pattern that began months ago. Rewind to May 17th, when Indiana demolished the Chicago Sky 93-58 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in a 35-point blowout that wasn't just a rough night, but the opening chapter of what has since become Angel Reese's recurring nightmare every time she faces the Fever.
Gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on?
During that May matchup, Angel Reese tried to get physical with Caitlin Clark, clearly attempting to intimidate her and throw her off her game, making contact whenever possible and trying to assert some kind of dominance. But the tactic completely backfired as the Fever rolled to one of the most lopsided wins in WNBA history, and what makes this pattern so damaging for Reese's reputation is that the May humiliation wasn't a one-off, it was the first chapter in a now entirely one-sided rivalry, with the Fever going 2-0 against Chicago this season in back-to-back blowouts, and in both games, Reese has been the glaring common denominator in her team's collapse.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool, but I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlin Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Oh yeah, look. watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this.
Fan reactions tell the whole story. Social media is flooded with side-by-side comparisons of both games, highlighting how Angel Reese has consistently underperformed against Indiana, with comments ranging from doubts about her ability to handle pressure to outright mockery of her attempts to compete with Caitlin Clark and the Fever. The 35-point loss in May, followed by this 27-point disaster at the United Center, reveals a clear pattern. Reese's confidence crumbles every time she faces Indiana, her aggressive tactics fall flat, her shooting collapses, and she looks completely lost on the court. So how did Clark put Reese in her place on live TV? Let's check it out.
You got to close out with the hand up. Her hands were down and Howard knocked it down, and that is a travel.
Reese drags the pivot foot, gives the ball back to Indiana.
8 to shoot. Boston this time, working against Reese. Pivot, puts it up.
There's a more.
What we're witnessing isn't just a couple of bad games, it's the complete dismantling of Angel Reese's confidence and reputation whenever she faces Indiana. The Fever have gotten so deep into her head that she can't even function properly when they're on the other side of the court. And this pattern says something much larger about the legacies of both players and where this so-called rivalry is truly heading. What makes this latest beatdown even more brutal is that the Fever didn't even have Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, or their head coach on the sidelines, yet still dominated Chicago by 27 points. Think about that. Indiana was missing 3 critical pieces and still made the Sky look like a high school team trying to hang with professionals.
Clark, no problem. No Sophie Cunningham, no problem. No head coach Stephanie White, have no fear. The final boss, Austin Kelly, is here. The Chicago Sky, we came into your building and we just, from pillar to post, smacked you guys around.
Kelsey Mitchell stepped up in a massive way, leading the Fever with 17 points on an efficient 5 of 11 shooting while also grabbing 5 rebounds and dishing out 2 assists. She showed exactly why she's been such a vital veteran presence for this team, taking command of the offense and refusing to let Chicago gain any momentum, with her leadership and composure setting the tone from the opening tip.
This time steps right through the heart of the defense and blows by Chicago. The winds off of Lake Michigan. Loses Atkins, step back mini, knocks it down. Oh, the connection to Howard. How about the finish from Mitchell?
And she may be the quickest guard in the league with the ball.
But here's where it gets really impressive. Ari McDonald came off the bench and absolutely torched the Sky with 12 points, including 3 made 3-pointers and 4 steals, signed on a hardship contract. McDonald instantly made Chicago pay for every mistake, running the offense with the poise and precision of someone who'd been with the team all season, and showcasing the kind of basketball IQ that separates true professionals from players still trying to find their place.
But both teams facing a little bit of adversity, having certain players out or not at full capacity.
McDonald, a huge triple in the corner. Mitchell, patient in the corner, flips it up top. Boston, other side. McDonald, another 3. I'm loving it.
The Fever's ball movement told the whole story of their superior basketball fundamentals, racking up 20 assists on 27 made field goals. A clear reflection of their team-first mentality that Chicago simply couldn't match. Every possession was smooth, deliberate, and cohesive. While the Sky looked chaotic and disjointed on the other end, acting head coach Austin Kelly deserves major credit for keeping the team locked in and executing flawlessly in Stephanie White's absence, as the Fever didn't miss a beat, showing off the depth, professionalism, and maturity of the entire organization. After the game, Kelly emphasized the connection between their rhythm and intensity, stating, "Our best defense is when our offense is clicking."
Great job. All right, great job.
Thanks, Daddy.
It started for us on the defensive end. We set the tone from the jump and never looked back. All right. Their starters, 8 for 29 from the field.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a job. Great attention to detail. That's less than 30%. We held them 32% for the game.
Natasha Howard chipped in with 13 efficient points, while Aaliyah Boston delivered a well-rounded performance with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and even Lexi Hull hit a career milestone by surpassing 500 career points during the blowout. The balanced scoring and steady contributions from every player on the floor showcased just how deep and dangerous this Fever roster truly is, as they held Chicago to just 52 points through relentless defense and sharp rotations, forcing turnovers, contesting every shot, and making the Sky fight for every single basket they managed to get.
Great job there. All right, we won the boards. All right, and they're a second chance points team. All right, we won that area as well. Taking away their strengths was something that we did a great job of. All right.
Just extremely proud of y'all. We stayed locked in. We stayed together. We executed the scout at a very high level. Just multiple levels of effort. Everything that we've asked of you today, we put it in there. And from now, again, stacking days, building on those moments where we're stringing those possessions together, right? Building on those great possessions on defense and on offense. great, hell of a job, though. High level, high level.
This win proved that the Fever are far more than just the Caitlin Clark show. They're a legitimate title contender, with or without their biggest star on the court. The depth, coaching, and championship mentality on display during this United Center beatdown sent a loud message to the entire league. Indiana is rising fast, while Chicago is falling apart, and Angel Reese's 4-point disaster on national television cemented just how one-sided this rivalry has become. With their resilience and balance, the Fever have positioned themselves as serious contenders heading into 2025, showing they can dominate even without Clark, who is set for re-evaluation on June 9th and could potentially return as early as Tuesday against the Atlanta Dream. Just imagine what this already dominant team will look like when she's back. If you're ready for Reese's next blooper, comment "Fire the baby giraffe" down below, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.